Imagine stepping into your professional debut with the weight of huge expectations on your shoulders. Now imagine ending the fight in just one round. That's exactly what Mona Kimura did. Fans expected her to win. Few expected her to dominate like this. With a background in karate, years of boxing experience, and incredible composure beyond her age, Mona didn't just announce her arrival. She made the entire division pay attention. Let's break down the debut that convinced many people they were watching a future champion. Before the opening bell even rang, there was already a lot of excitement surrounding Mona Kimura. Commentators couldn't stop talking about the hype. She wasn't entering as an unknown rookie. She had already built a reputation through her achievements in karate, and her extensive boxing experience made her one of the most talked-about newcomers entering the promotion. Many believed she had all the tools to become something special. Now it was time to prove it. As both fighters made their way to the center of the ring, one thing immediately stood out. Mona looked completely relaxed. While most fighters show signs of nervousness before a professional debut, she looked calm, focused, and confident. The commentators even noticed a smile before the fight began. To them, it didn't look like someone making her first appearance. It looked like someone who had done this hundreds of times before. That level of composure can be incredibly dangerous. Across the ring stood an opponent with a very different strategy. She believed her punching power would be the deciding factor. Her goal was simple: land heavy shots, force a knockout. But Mona had other plans. From the very first exchange, Kimura showed exactly why people had been talking about her. Fighting from the southpaw stance, she immediately began controlling the distance. Instead of rushing forward, she used sharp movement and perfectly timed lead kicks to keep her opponent guessing. Those front kicks weren't simply there to score points. They disrupted rhythm. They created openings. And they forced her opponent to hesitate before attacking. One of the commentators made an interesting observation. Despite her impressive boxing background, Mona wasn't relying solely on her hands. Instead, she was building every attack through her kicks. It showed maturity. Rather than falling back on what she already knew best, she was displaying the complete skill set she'd been working to develop. That's the sign of a fighter who wants to become great, not just good. Moan. As the opening minute unfolded, Mona stayed incredibly patient. No wasted movement. No unnecessary aggression. Every strike had a purpose. Every step forward was calculated. Even experienced commentators admitted she looked unusually composed for someone making her professional debut. It almost didn't seem real. Then, everything changed. Her opponent finally committed to an attack. It was exactly the opportunity Mona had been waiting for. With perfect timing, she answered with a crushing counter right hand. The punch landed clean. The crowd exploded. Suddenly, the momentum completely shifted. Instead of panicking or chasing wildly for the finish, Mona stayed calm. That's what impressed the commentary team the most. She never looked rushed. She simply continued applying pressure while waiting for another opening. Moments later, she found it. Another perfectly timed punch landed flush. This time, there was no recovery. The referee stepped in. Just like that, the fight was over. 1 round. Professional debut. Victory by knockout. It couldn't have been a more convincing introduction. Even more impressive. She barely looked like she had been in a fight. There wasn't a visible mark on her face. Meanwhile, the commentators couldn't stop praising how effortlessly she handled the moment. One of them even suggested she had barely shown everything she was capable of. Imagine hearing that after scoring a first-round knockout. Following the victory, Mona stepped to the microphone. Despite the dominant performance, she wasn't interested in celebrating herself. Instead, she thanked the fans for their support. Then she made something very clear. This was only the beginning. She smiled and told the crowd that they hadn't seen her best yet. She promised to become even stronger before returning to the ring. That confidence wasn't arrogance. It sounded like someone who truly believed she was only scratching the surface of her potential. The commentators were equally impressed by the way she handled herself after the fight. Speaking confidently in front of the audience immediately after such a huge victory isn't easy. Yet Mona looked completely comfortable. According to the broadcast team, having your own voice and personality is an important quality for any professional fighter. On that night, she proved she had both. Looking back now, it's easy to understand why this debut generated so much excitement. She combined the discipline of karate, the precision of boxing, the patience of an experienced veteran, and the confidence of someone destined for bigger stages. Very few fighters manage to check all those boxes in their first professional appearance. Mona Kimura did exactly that. If this was only her debut, imagine what she's capable of after gaining more experience against tougher competition. One thing is certain. From the moment that first round knockout happened, the women's flyweight division knew a new contender had arrived, and the rest of the combat sports world started paying attention. What do you think? Was this one of the most impressive professional debuts you've ever seen? Could Mona Kimura become a future champion? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Mona Kimura Ringside, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest fight analysis, career updates, and stories from the world of combat sports. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.